and welcome to Friday Nights with Vikki and Sharlene.
I thought you were going to say about resolve. It's really into a really quick introduction, so I was like waiting it out.
I should have started with welcome to Vibes and Vision. Friday Nights with Sharlene and Vikki, Vikki and Sharlene, whichever way around.
Say it, so in no particular order.
Hello, welcome. We tonight are going to be talking about laughter. So it's the universal language that brings us together. We're going to talk about why we find things funny, quirky facts, how it improves our well-being, maybe some jokes in there. So just grab a nice cuppa of something and sit back and enjoy the show. But first of all, Vicky's going to start with a joke.
I'm going to start with one that my son's just sent me now because I thought it's really bad but also really good at the same time. So I asked, we have a family group chat, so I just said like, guys, throw some jokes in there. Some of them probably shouldn't have been in there, but that's my children. But then one of them, so this is my son Connor, who said, what is it about, wait, and you have to read it. Oh my god, but no retention.
That's not the joke.
No, this is not the joke.
It's all in the delivery.
I know. Do you know my granddad used to tell jokes all the time, and he was Irish, and he always used to say, "It's the way I tell them."
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
This is not one of them moments for anyone listening. So, oh my god, I feel like an old woman now. What's the deal with airline food?
How is that funny?
Well, you don't know the answer.
Oh, okay. It's terrible.
It's plain.
That is so bad.
It's so bad, isn't it?
It's
like one of them Christmas
Connor, that is terrible. That is like that is the worst like dad joke of like ever. Yeah, that is really bad. If you do know any jokes that are appropriate for the radio, then please do share them with us. You can DM us at Roll Resolve or
on Instagram.
On Instagram, or send us an email actually at rollresolve@outlook.com.
Not very confident.
Probably DM us.
That's definitely the email though, guys.
It's very safe just to contact us on Instagram. So with regard to laughter, Vikki and I are quite well known for always laughing, and it was actually one of the ladies on our cohort who said that this was the perfect subject for us because she doesn't know anybody who laughs quite as much as we do. And this is also reiterated by one of our lecturers who I spoke to today, who said when she thinks of us both that, you know, she immediately thinks of laughing because we are not quiet.
It's usually the, oh my god, I hate you before I could see you.
Yeah, literally.
Like, really?
One of the professors has said that to us as well, that he heard us before he could see us.
Yeah.
Which is not too bad, actually, as reputations go.
No, it's not. There's worse things that could be said.
Absolutely. So we are known for our...
We can be serious, though. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, we can actually be serious people. Really. We can.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like, I promise you we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not complete, like... Yeah, we do laugh a lot.
We do laugh a lot. But there's like different types of laughter, isn't there?
Yeah, so before we go into the categories of what I've sourced online, of what they are, I'm going to share one more joke.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask that people send their own in because I want to hear them. I love a great cheesy joke, like something that's not funny. It shouldn't be funny, but it really is funny. So this one is, I actually read it to Sharlene before we came in and she was like, she laughed and said, you can't share that. And it is, write it down, put it in your Christmas crackers next year because your family's going to love it. It is, why don't skeletons start fights with each other? And it is, because they don't have any guts.
So bad.
Fabulous.
So please save us. Please send your jokes in, because I mean,
Save us from ourselves. Send yours. Ours are terrible.
I don't actually remember any jokes, and when you you see them all the time, don't you? On in anecdotal jokes, not dotes, jokes. Sort of. I don't retain any, and it's amazing for me when people remember and they just fire them off.
I don't need to find things funny, because my brain just works in a way that I'll hear normal everyday stuff and I instantly make a joke out of it in my head.
Yeah.
Again, it can be serious, but I don't know, it's either a joke or a song. Oh, the song that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't think that's why, because you do it too. I know you do.
I do.
And we'll say things, and so ironically, one of the topics of laughter, one of the categories of laughter is a contagious laugh. And I know that we do that. So
Yeah.
You laugh, I laugh, you laugh, which makes us laugh even more, which is one of the reasons why we laugh a lot, is because we could be laughing at things that we don't even know why we're laughing, because we just, something was funny.
And it can be the most innocuous thing as well that starts us off, but then we'll just carry on laughing. Just carry on laughing because we've made each other laugh, but then we'll laugh at ourselves, and then which will start each other laughing as well. So yeah. But then that does make you right back contagious though, because we'll find that those around us do laugh as well. So it is.
It's just, people have said that anyway. It's like, even in different circumstances, they'll always get like, "Oh, you've got such a contagious laugh." It's been sad.
There was I saw a clip, and it was this, one of those social experiment clips, and it was a guy who was sat in a room, so everyone was just sat around, really serious, sort of just doing their own thing, and he started laughing, and it seemed it was really weird, and I started getting a few funny looks.
I've seen one where he goes, but it gradually turns into a proper laugh, and it's really funny.
But then people started, and the thing is he's laughing at something, nobody knows what he's laughing at, but then the whole room, eventually, it's like this ripple effect.
Do you think it's something
Everyone's
with the
laughing.
mouth? Because
I don't know.
if you see someone smile, then you instantly smile back, and if you see someone yawn, then you yawn as well. And then wonder if it is just something in our brains. I mean, I'd love to know the study behind that.
Yeah.
If there is something there that when we do something with our mouths, or someone in front of you does something with their mouths, you instantly oh yeah, I'm there. Yawn, laugh, smile. I know. I'm rising above it. So that guy did. So social laughter is basically when you use it to bond with others even when there is no joke.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe you just start laughing.
Well, maybe it's that mixture. It's that contagious with a bit of a social.
It's nervous laughter, and I'm wondering if nervous laughter and social laughter actually interlink. I've got a bad nervous laugh.
Do you know what? See this? Do you know sort of when you start dating somebody? And they're not funny, but you laugh at them anyway. Not at them. Oh my god, your face is so funny. But
maybe you shouldn't be dating them if that's the thought process behind it.
I mean, they're not. There is a whole thing that says that if you laugh at somebody, if you laugh at somebody's jokes, even though they're not funny, it's because you're interested and you like them.
Because you find, I've heard that before.
Yeah, so it's I wonder if does that come under a nervous thing, a social thing? Are you just doing it to sort of stroke their ego, so it makes them, oh yeah, they're so funny, they love me? I don't know. It's I don't know.
If you stayed with them, you'd have to constantly laugh at them jokes.
Oh god, no, it's that
eventually, would you start just finding, would you censor you, Jane?
I think eventually I would go, that's really not funny.
Stop it now.
Or maybe it's like it's a bit like you sort of acclimatise and you actually do find not acclimatise. I can't think of the word.
That's what I mean. Would you start finding it
Yeah,
funny, like, randomly, like,
maybe.
oh my god, that's a funny cracker joke. Like, or would you get to like your 6 month cut off and you're like, right?
No, enough's enough. You're just
I
not
can't
funny.
do that anymore. You're not funny. Change. Don't give up your day job. Start writing for something.
It's an interesting concept, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just quite funny. That's how it all ties into the different types of laughter. And but saying that, I think sense of humour is important in any relationship. It's like whether it's a friendship or a partnership type thing.
A partnership.
That's a pace. You know what I mean, though.
That transitions nicely into the last category.
Oh, right, okay.
Genuine laughter. When you actually do find it funny. So that fits into like the first show.
Yeah.
When we had Kira and Bettina on, and we were saying about like messages, and we said about LOL.
Yeah.
And it's like in real life, if we just you read a message and you go, oh yeah, LOL. You don't laugh. Like I don't go, yeah, LOL. Like that's not a thing. But then if I do actually laugh, I'm like, LMAO. Hey, that's it, isn't it?
What's LMAO? I've never even heard that before.
I'm not allowed to swear, am I? Have you never heard
Oh.
that before?
No. Right, when we're offline, you have to tell me, yeah.
Oh, you'll put like actual LOL.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I need to
say that really made me laugh.
Yeah.
See, I thought that really made me laugh a lot.
Yeah,
I don't do the LOL thing.
But it's like you feel like you need to justify it. I actually laughed at that. Like that's not just an LOL moment.
That was genuinely funny.
That was like, it's a funny thing. But I don't feel like LOL justifies it if I actually laugh because I genuinely. I don't really use LOL a lot anyway.
I've never known you use LOL actually.
But if I felt like I wouldn't use that if I actually laughed. But I hear it so often, like people say, they write LOL but don't actually laugh. So maybe that sits on like in person. It's like imagine you met someone who told you a joke, like you're in a joke. It's an LOL moment, isn't it? Because like you've got to pretend to laugh.
Well, that just reminds me of what Kira was saying when she just said, "That's so funny."
Yeah. But you didn't actually laugh.
Deadpan.
That ran down an LOL moment. So that's what we're going to call it from now on, an LOL moment.
An LOL moment. An actual LOL moment.
No,
or
then you would have, is it an actual one or is it just an LOL moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, but I feel like that is where our genuine laughter sort of like moves up to that next level and it's like, I actually did find that funny.
Yeah.
So I do that like when you send reels and I send reels to you. And like some of them I find a little bit funny but others I actually like.
Proper laugh.
Like that guy who was sending people messages using the names. I actually laughed so hard.
That was it. And we will come on to that in a minute. But first, we're going to have a song from Florence and the Machines. Hello, everybody, and we are back. Now I've got a confession to make. Talking about funny things, it's sort of funny and also a little bit embarrassing.
It's kind of like an insight into Charlene's life, actually. More than anything.
I forgot to unmute Vikki.
So Daniel, thank you, Daniel. Just messaged you. He was like, "You sound really faint. Like one of you sounds really faint." Well, I asked him first because like Charlie was like, "I think I muted us." Like, so we genuinely thought she'd muted like both microphones, and you couldn't hear any of us. So, and then she was like, "Actually, I think I only unmuted one of us, but I don't know which one." So we was like, "Oh, great! So one of us sounds like we were just sat here talking to ourselves." So we messaged Daniel. So he was like, "Yeah, you could hear you, but like really faintly." So yeah, I do have a voice. For anyone who hasn't previously listened and you're new tonight, I do have a voice.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but this is the thing. It's like, do you know, earlier on we was talking about funny stories, and the thing is that
who knew you was going to create one?
Literally. So these are my funny stories. Like my life is just one big funny story.
My life is my funny story.
Yeah, it's like there's always.
Sometimes it's funny, aha, and sometimes it's funny. Just I don't know, like someone else is saying, ha ha.
Yeah, we have lots of these things, but I think it's also the things happen. And I was thinking about before Christmas, which my car's still poorly, by the way. So my car kept not starting, and. So it came out of uni, it started. We got to Sainsbury's and it wouldn't start. And there's like me and Vikki trying to work out how to jump start my car using my jump leads, her car. Then also onto FaceTime with my daughter's dad. So it was dark. He was getting really frustrated with me. So then I was getting really frustrated. And it was like, do you know, one of those like comedy? But the thing is that in that moment, we didn't do the female sex any favours. That's all I'm saying.
No, we didn't.
Not
we
at
lived
all.
up to all the stereotypes in that moment. And considering we're both blonde as well, like, we just escalated the whole situation. And some poor guy walked past and he looked at us with the most... I don't know if it was empathy, compassion.
I'm going to go with
Out,
empathy.
like, what are you doing? Kind of look. And he was like, kind of help.
And he did.
So thank you to that guy.
30 seconds. It took 30 seconds. But
we'd been there a good like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we had. Trying to work it out. But after that, I became an actual pro at jump start. So if you ever need your car jump starting, I'm your person. I know how to jump start a car now. But that we found really funny. It's like one of those things that, you know, could be stressful because it was like 9:30 at night as well. It's like, it wasn't...
Do you know what was so funny about it is because we don't really like, we don't drink a lot. We don't. And we were like, I can't remember what we'd done that day. And we was like...
I know, we'd had, in fact, was that the night? Because we had a role resolve meeting. So that, because I was thinking why we were so late.
But there was something, yeah, we had a role resolve meeting.
And then the following day, I'm sure that it was the Pitch Perfect. And so we did actually go and buy a bottle of wine, which I'm not advocating.
Yeah, but there was something else that had happened that day. And we were like, do you know what? We need a little bit of a celebratory moment.
I think that's what it was.
We'll go and get something to eat. We had nothing to eat. It'd been a long day. And we'll have a glass of wine. And then we were like stuck on Sainsbury's car park trying to jump start a car at 10 o'clock at night. And it was like, maybe we won't do that.
No, but we did. But no, we did do all the things. And then we went and did the Pitch Perfect competition the next day. I think it was that one. And that's the thing, is that and we decide to approach things with laughter. So we laugh about it. We find the funny side.
If you get mad, it's not going to make it any better anyway, is it?
I mean,
laughing isn't going to make it any better. It just makes me feel a little bit better.
Because
I can laugh about it.
It releases, is it endorphins? This is the science, isn't it? That we have been
Well, actually, one of the theories, so we had a look at psychological theories, and one of the theories is relief theory, which is basically where the humour releases like built up tension or stress. So I'm not saying we'd like built up a lot of stress at that moment, but it was a long day. We probably
had.
I don't think it was so much stress. We was like tired. We were like, you know where it's like everyone's done a long day where you're just in that moment where you just want to get home and take your shoes off type of like feelings. And it was like, oh great. We didn't know how long the situation was going to last for. We didn't know how it was going to pan out. We didn't know what we was doing. We was going to phone the RAC. We was going to do all the things. So we just laughed and looked like two people that didn't have an absolute clue what we was doing. So, yeah. So it was either laugh or cry. And we just chose laughter. Like, that's what we chose.
But do you know, it's like saying about releasing, actually, Sigmund Freud. Good old Freud.
And I love a bit of Freud.
It's you know, love him or hate him. And he's actually said that sort of laughter, it allows people to release pent-up nervous energy. And actually, joking about, and I'm trying to think how to word this without saying the things. So, joking. I have to be really careful on the radio, sort of the choice of my words and language. And taboo subjects. That's what I would say. So, yeah, if you joke about taboo subjects, it actually helps to release that sort of suppressed, inappropriate emotions, according to Freud.
Frest. I was going to say, Freud was suppressed and it came out as frest. So Frest to that guy.
He was repressed. Yeah. And I think he dealt with a lot of
I don't know whether he was, but his clients must have been like a whole demographic of suppressed people.
Absolutely.
Well, it was suppressed times, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really? So
yeah, it really was.
Kind of fitting for his like thought process, to be honest.
And it sort of ties in like with what we were saying about sort of letting it out with laughter rather than any aggression or I don't know, inappropriate emotion. I don't know what would be inappropriate though.
Well, that comes to the other theory, which is actually, and I should be able to say this, and like this is so bad, so I do apologise for anyone listening that can hold me accountable for how this is going to exit my mouth, because I can't seem to say it. I've started trying, and it's the incongruity. Is that right? Incongruity theory.
Oh,
so, and if you don't know what that means, I don't know where you've been for the past 3 years.
Yes, I do, but for the listeners,
yes, for the listeners.
Oh, you want to say that?
Context, we both looked at each other as if no one spoke. So basically it means that you laugh in kind of like in surprise or when something doesn't fit your expectations. This is what it says.
Okay.
And you don't actually, well, it does make sense because something's took you by surprise, it doesn't fit your expectations, or you just genuinely don't find it funny, but you laugh anyway because it's kind of like, you feel like that's the right thing to do. So it goes back to like someone telling you a joke that you don't find funny. Or
sort of when you sort of start dating somebody and you laugh at something that you don't find funny.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, no.
So
it's been a long day.
I don't know where you're at today. Just all over the show.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, so basically that.
Yeah, so sort of disingenuous.
Yeah, literally that. So that's the incongruity theory. We've had the relief theory. And then we've got the... Why can't I speak or read at the moment? Superiority theory.
Oh.
So I can speak and read, apparently. And that is laughing at others' misfortune. So, and we're all guilty of it. We've all done it. When someone falls over... or just something happens to somebody. And I mean, I was actually on a night out once and I remember someone who was on a night out with falling over and I was going to take a photograph.
That is cruel.
And they were like, don't you dare. But I did offer to help, but my initial thought at that moment was, I want to take a photograph. And that's really bad. I mean, they found it funny and I would never do that if they were in a really bad situation. But I don't know. I think
let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about. So I had a friend. So this is when back in the day when I worked in sales, and we at the time we both worked for ADT, selling fire alarms. No, security alarms. It wasn't fire alarms at all. Security alarms. And she told me about, and I wasn't there. So this is this is all through. I visualised this actual scenario taking place, and this was in the I'm gonna say 2000s, the noughties. And so turn-ups were a thing on your trousers. Obviously turn-ups and heels. And she was at customers, she was doing a survey, and her...
It got stuck in her heel, went in her jeans.
Her heel got caught in her trousers and she went flying in front of a customer.
That's so bad.
I know, and honestly, that that is, even today, that's a long time ago, even the thought of it now, I can just imagine her stacking it because she's a tall girl as well.
I get it because I remember being on a holiday in Barmouth years ago with my friend, and we'd gone with like her family, and we was there like 2 weeks. And I don't know if you've been. Is it Barmouth? That's a really small one because it's Barmouth and Bournemouth, isn't there? So it's the small one.
You're just doing it with the Manchester accent.
No, what?
I thought you were doing Bournemouth with the Manchester accent.
No, because there's two, isn't there? There's Barmouth and Bournemouth.
I have never heard of the other one.
Yeah, so it's the smaller one that
Bournemouth
is
quite big.
I'm gonna find it on the map, show you later.
Okay.
But anyway, wherever it was we went, we met like a lot of the locals, and we ended up like going out with them at night, like chilling on the beach, because our apartment that we were staying in was across the road from the beach, and there was like a tiny little fair, and we had the best time. It was so cool, and we met all these people anyway. And one night we was doing the usual teenage thing where you get your bottle of cider like we used to do in the day, and we were sat on the beach, but the lads that we'd met were a little bit older than us, and some of their friends was a little bit older than them, and one of them was driving. He wasn't drinking, driving. I'm not advocating for that. No, but like this other lad was on the beach, and I don't know why he did it, and I don't know to this day, but I know that it always makes me laugh if I think about it. It's so funny. And randomly, the door was open on the car, and he'd said to his mate, "Watch this." And I think what he was going to do was jump the beach wall and jump like head first in the car, which would have been amazing. But when he got to the car door, someone shut it, and he just hit the car door straight on, and he just went flying on the floor. And it was
Is he okay?
He was fine, but it was so funny, and we was like, and I can't express out loud like how funny it actually was, because you had to have been there, because it was so like in the moment. I'm gonna do this, and the fact that I don't know whether the person knew he was gonna do it or what, but they just shut the door and just went smart right into the car.
Oh my goodness!
And he even found it funny, to be fair. I mean, he probably was hurt a little bit, but he wasn't like injured. But that was a funny thing. Like
that reminds me of that sort of like, the You've Been Framed clip.
It was definitely a
It's
You've
all
Been
like
Framed moment.
and the thing is that the theory you're talking about sort of definitely links with that. It's like there's a TV show that ran for years and years and years. I think from when we were kids, right up until more recently with Harry Hill, which is all about people's misfortune. Literally, all cute animal.
I mean, some of the things on like You've Been Framed quite questionable as to why people continue to video.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, I'll get £250 for that."
Yeah, there's some. I think when I see it actually on social media, and there's some where I'm just like, oh.
Now they go a bit over the top.
Yeah, it's like sort of. Are they actually okay? Because they've like really fallen.
Did you see that one that I sent you the other day? So like just literally random
insight,
and insight into our messages. And I found the video with a bit like what's going on, but I'm a comment reader. Like I love honestly, I could break my legs running to the comments sometimes, because I just know what's going to be there when you get there. So if anyone else does that, then please do tell me, because I know it's a thing because everyone else says it on the comments. But anyway, there was a guy videoing his wife, I think it was, who was falling down a mountain, and it was in the snow, and like and he was like, "Oh, this is my wife falling down a mountain," and he's like literally videoing her, and I thought, why? So that's why I went to the comments, because I was like, why would he do that? And then some guy just put, one day somebody said she'll be coming down the mountain when she comes, and that bit, I was gone.
Yeah, that was a comment that got me, because I was like, that is absolute top tier comment. But the thing is she was going literally head over heels. It was like, it was a proper comedy moment, and to be fair,
and he didn't laugh. He was just like, "That's my wife falling down the mountain."
That's what I mean, bless her.
That must have hurt.
That must have hurt a lot. It wasn't.
I mean, I'm hoping that she's okay, because like I can't see why he would upload that on Facebook if he was just like videoing her and she wasn't okay.
Who knows?
But some of them videos are absolutely brilliant, but some of them are like, really?
They are. And then it's sort of, because there was so I was reading something about what sort of makes people laugh. And the thing is that humour is really hard to actually quantify, because there's so many different things. Like, you look at all the different comedians, and you know, the different things the different jokes they tell, and some of them are really, really, really near the knuckle. Some of them are very rude.
So who's your favourite comedian?
I don't have a favorite. Well, no. Do you know what? I've never ever been to see a comedian. I know. Never. And this is really bad because I get like my retention is so short.
Really? No way.
Shocked and stunned. But I like watching the clips because I quite like Michael McIntyre because he's quite wholesome, you know, with some of the things he does.
I love Matt Rife.
I love Matt Rife
I
because
love his
fit.
clip.
He is. I mean, he is.
He's very young.
He's very. He's fit.
I think he's so funny. Do you know? And I like him the way that people would say he's offensive in some of the things that he says, but you actually find that when he's saying what he's saying, it's almost like, I'm not going to say the grateful because he literally he says some questionable things, but he's including people in the audience for like no matter who they are, and it's like they wouldn't go and watch him if they didn't want to be included in the show, because why would you go and watch a comedian if you don't really find them funny?
But I think that's the thing, is that that's I'm gonna say it's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is
I'm not going to give an example.
No. And actually,
just Google him.
the example of it, because not all that he jokes about is offensive. Is it? Some of it is actually just, I'd say, run of the mill stuff. But the offensive stuff he jokes about are about people in the audience. So like you say, it's like that level of humour, and I think that, and it sort of goes back to the different types of humour. And it's taken, like people have said from what I've read about, is that it's taking the ordinary and making it funny.
Yeah.
And it's like interpretation of life. And
that's
think
why
that's what
I like Peter Kay. So I've been to see Peter Kay a couple of times actually live. And I think his jokes are so funny because they're so also not funny at the same time. So like one of his like, everyone will know it. And I remember when he first come out with it, and it was like, it made it really difficult when he was in a taxi, because he was like, he's in a taxi I don't know if he's actually in the taxi or he's telling the joke on stage. But he says, when you're in a taxi and you go, "Time you want till?" You busy tonight? He's like, I don't give a you know what. But you can't help but say it. And then like, it was a standard joke, because I'm from Manchester. So like when that was like a thing when it first came out, and I remember when we used to get in a taxi and you would be like, "So you want till?" And they'd go but you couldn't say it anymore, because then it just turned into this whole like, "Oh, no, you've been watching." It's like, no, because I would say that anyway. And he makes like the relatable. And it was like, he'd say about the big light. Yeah. Like, what's a big light? Like, why do we call it that? Or garlic bread. And he turned that into a joke. And he was like, and it's little things in life that you don't actually anticipate as being funny, but then they just are actually funny. And
it is literally the way you tell them, isn't it? And I think this is what makes a comedian really, really good, is that, and apparently they're highly intelligent as well. There's a whole thing about lots of comedians being very well educated and very intelligent. And I
think they have to be. So I've noticed with a lot of comedians as well, they will tell a joke at the beginning and then they'll link it right at the end, because that's the craft of that like set, and it's brilliant. But before we go to the next song, just message us if you've got any funny stories or anything that you want us to shout out and give you a shout out online.
And now we're going to play a little bit of Pink. Hello, and we're back with Vicky's. Vicky wants to have a game of true or false. So
Vicky suggested it, like random facts, and I'm going to be putting them to Sharlene, and we're just going to open them up for discussion. I'm going to choose some I'm going to share some random facts before we go into it, which I just thought they were really funny. So I've just been Googling random facts about laughter. So one of them was and I think this is really interesting. So it's babies actually laugh around 3 to 4 months old, which as a mum, we would know that anyway. Mm-hmm. But I think that opens a really interesting discussion for that is their first form of communication.
How do they know it's funny?
I don't know. How would they... And there's no way to find out because you can't ask them. No one actually remembers, being 3 months old. So, yeah, why?
So then is that more of a physiological response then, rather than... Because it can't be a conscious one because they don't know...
How do they know it's funny?
They don't. So it's got
In fact,
to be...
one of my kids used to laugh when you bang your head on the door. So we used to pretend to do it, and they thought it was hilarious.
It's weird though, isn't it?
We didn't do that all the time, but we weren't advocating for hitting ourselves. So it was just a little, it's a weird game. Well, he's 18 now anyway, so.
Well, I wonder sort of what triggers that first, the first, I can't think of the word. What's the trigger for them to laugh for that first time?
I don't know.
But then, because it releases, it releases neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, so which are really positive hormones. So these obviously
that might be their only way to release it, and it's an auto response.
But because it makes you feel better.
But then that goes back to it being physiological, not being. Yeah.
But it's they're not thinking it. Yeah.
I'd love to know what they were thinking.
Well, do they? Because the thing is that they don't. How can they form conscious thoughts? Because
go back to reels. There was one the other day about a baby who's I think his dad was filming and mum was asleep, but mum was snoring. Was it snoring? And anyway, the baby was falling asleep, and the mum does something that wakes the baby up, and the baby sort of jumps, wakes up, but it looks at the mum with utter disgust, and it's 3 months old, rolls his eyes and looks at the dad filming, and honestly, if you could predict what he was saying, and I'm pretty sure it was, why have I been born into this? Something along them lines. So it's how do they know how to respond to that? So that's total sidetracking.
Side quest there.
Goes to it goes hand in hand, doesn't it? With why they laugh, where does that thought process come from? So
I thought we were doing true or false.
Well, we can. I'm just reading some funny facts first, and I also find this one really good as well. So laughter can burn calories. So
really?
Every 10 to 15 minutes of laughter can burn 40 calories. But I don't know if you would laugh consistently for 15 minutes.
That is a lot of laughing.
It's a long time.
Oh my god, your jaw would be. I think
it would
your
really
jaw would hurt.
because you burnt 40 calories by laughing, so it's got to hurt somewhere. The other one is rats laugh when tickled, and scientists discovered this using ultrasonic microphones. How would you know that a rat's laughing?
That is random.
It's so weird.
Do you know what's even worse is that research would have been paid for.
I know.
Let's see if rats laugh.
It's a lot. I mean, that needs opening for exploration. Not now, but why someone actually thought that would be a thing. Let's tickle the rats and see if they laugh. Go you.
That's a bit weird.
And the longest recorded laughing session lasted for, go on, have a guess.
24 hours.
3. You're very ambitious. So
disappointing.
Before we move into the facts thing, which I don't know whether Sharlene's going to do very well after that response, just to throw it out there, another random fact is, in the Middle Ages, jesters were actually employed by kings and queens so they could make them laugh, and it was actually a very serious job.
Yeah, it is, because if they didn't make them laugh, they would be beheaded.
It's kind of serious. It's not actually funny. Yeah, so just going to throw that out there. That's that superiority laugh.
It's not funny, but it is serious.
Yeah. Sharlene superiority laugh, like, haha, it's not funny. So anyway, moving swiftly on to the random true or false fast facts about laughing.
Go on then.
So, 1, you can't tickle yourself and make yourself laugh. Is that true or false?
Absolutely true.
So the reason behind that is your brain anticipates your own touch, so it doesn't trigger the surprise response, which is why we don't laugh.
I hate being tickled with
it's horrible,
passion.
isn't it?
It's the horrible thing.
I don't find it funny.
I don't find it funny. I find it.
I feel like I want to choose violence.
100%. I feel like it's an invasion of my personal being. It's not. And so my youngest daughter takes great delight, because she's taller and stronger than me, pinning me down to tickle me.
Yeah,
it's not funny.
My daughter's not even bigger or stronger, but she still does it. She's 8.
Yeah,
she gives it a good go. And then, do you know, like if you're getting her dressed in the morning, I'm like, right, put your arms up, and she goes, dead edgy. So she's like, puts it on, and then I don't even tickle her. She goes, right, you tickled me then. And she's like, she argues with me to raise my arms, and I'm like, absolutely not. And she just wants to tickle me, so she makes this whole thing that I've tickled her, and I'm like, genuinely haven't.
No, there's a whole conversation we could have about tickling.
Yeah,
but it's not appropriate for the radio as well.
So
it's a whole other thing.
Number 2 is humans are the only species that laugh. True or false?
False.
Well, it's got to be, because I've just told you that rats actually. that was a test on your retention.
I was actually thinking about monkeys. Because monkeys laugh.
Nothing. That's what I thought with. This is why I laugh a lot. I don't know what to say.
Next one.
Daniel said hyenas. Well, that's where it comes from. Laughing hyena. Hyena?
Hyena.
Laughing hyena. Thank you for sharing, Daniel. Laughter was used as medical treatment in ancient Greece. True or false?
Ooh. I'm going to go true.
That's right. So, it says Hippocrates, the father of medicine, believed humour and laughter could actually aid healing.
Well,
I think he had a point.
I think he had a point, because I haven't found it. So I remember reading quite some time ago about somebody. This is really so about retention. It was really poorly. He watched a lot of comedies and he got better. And whatever he had wrong with, I think he had a terminal illness. And the doctors couldn't give a medical reason why, but he cured himself through laughter.
It's potentially something that we could do.
Well, the thing is that from what I've read, it actually says that, well, it says that laughter is a natural painkiller. It's like, because it obviously triggers all the things in the body. So who knows?
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
So 4, the average person laughs 100 times per day. True or false?
Are we an average person?
Well, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about like the population of people.
I would say false.
That's false. It's actually closer to 15 to 20 times a day for most adults.
Yeah, I would say 100 sounds about right for us.
If we do, to be fair.
But for most people that I think that I know.
Daniel said max 3. You should have joined us tonight, Daniel, because your responses tonight have been really good, actually.
Yeah, you should.
We shared my WhatsApp. I just had him on like live.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, can I just do a quick interjection and because talking about Daniel? So, I'm gonna just share your story now, Daniel, because it made me laugh. So, Daniel's got a funny story where he was walking his dog called Alfie round a lake with his girlfriend about 3 years ago. It had been raining overnight, but he didn't realise because the paths were dry. Anyway, so as you do as a dog owner, it's really nice to take videos of, your dog and playing with your dog and doing all the lovely things out in nature. So anyway, because he was videoing, he slipped down a bank towards the lake and got it all on film. got a little bit muddy. And he's actually sent us the video evidence, which I would love to have shared with you.
Has he just sent that now?
Yes.
I'm going to watch that later. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel.
That actually unlocked a memory for me when I actually went on a walk with my friend, and I think it was like her family that we'd gone for a walk, and we was taking the dogs for a walk, and it was quite a flat path, to be fair, in the woods, but there was a little bit that went down a hill, and I always remember her like, I don't know why she did it, to be fair, she just started walking down it to have a look, but her feet got stuck under a log, like when the logs are the trees, but both feet got stuck there, and she continued to walk. And do you know what? It was so funny.
She continued to walk if both of her feet got stuck under.
She didn't get to do the walk. She didn't realise that her foot was trapped under it because it wasn't actually touching her feet.
Yeah.
So as she lifted it up to walk, she went to walk, but obviously her feet didn't come with her. But she didn't bend. And I remember...
It's like a falling tree.
Literally that. And I remember like my other friend was with us as well, and it was honestly... I think we was actually crying with laughter because it was and she was as well, like it was one of the funniest things.
That sounds funny, actually.
Again, that's one of them superiority laughs that apparently we do a lot.
So we do. See, I've got an absolute brilliant one which I'm not going to share tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to share it. So Vikki knows it is. I'm going to share it because on the 14th of February, which is, as you all know, Valentine's Day, we're going to do dating stories, sort of the good, the bad, and the funny, basically. So
I'm going to share one more random fact.
Okay.
And then we'll open this for discussion because I think this is quite interesting, actually.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it as a true or false, actually. I'm just going to ask you the question and see which one you think. So, do you think a person is more likely to laugh in the day or at night?
Day.
Night.
Really?
Apparently, people tend to laugh more as their mood lifts throughout the day. So, as obviously it gets towards the end of the day, they tend to laugh more. Apparently, according to my resources.
I think it depends on what time of day you send me a reel.
Well, the question actually was, if I'd have gone with it as a fact, it was, people tend to laugh more at night than in the morning? So that I can get, because no one wakes up like, oh, it's 6 a.m. 6 a.m, go me. Like me at 5:30 this morning, thinking, oh, I just want to get back to bed.
Yeah.
Did not find that funny, at
No,
all. I
it's
was
not
not this
funny.
laughing person right then. So I can understand how, as you move through the day, you may start laughing a little bit more and your humour might increase.
But then I think, I don't know, then... I don't know, actually. That's sort of just, I'm gonna monitor that going forward, actually, because I think I probably laugh throughout the day, at night,
And morning.
Definitely not a morning.
I was gonna say, you're not.
No.
You are the least morning person that I know. I know a lot of people, and it's not an age thing. I'm just gonna throw that out there, right? It's really not. People older, younger, same age, on par. I don't even know how to describe it, but I have never, even my kids, no, I've never known anyone to be less of a morning person than you. And you're not even a night person.
I'm not a night person. I've got peak window of hours.
We went away for a weekend in London, and we'd gone out on the night for a night out, and I can function. I
was hungover.
I was hungover too.
I was so hungover.
And we got to, I bet it was about midday. No, it would have been about 2 o'clock.
No, it was 12 o'clock because I went back. I had to go back to the room.
And Sharlene was sat in this audience, right, waiting to watch this show. And Sharlene was like, do you mind if I go for a nap? I was like, all right, Nana. Off you pop.
So, I'm going to give context to this now. Right, so I'm going to give you the whole context. So Vikki and I went for the Love of Fantasy convention, and so we went out. It was a Saturday evening, and we had a few lemonades before.
I mean, that evening even turned into us being us and laughing and
Yes,
getting lost.
well, this is what we had a few pre-drinks. Which
Can we just say on that night that laughter got us to good places?
it did get us to very good places because we hadn't eaten a lot during the day and we'd had a few pre-drinks before going out. So we were in a very merry, very, very, very...
A very merry, very...
very, very merry...
I don't know what... I don't know why we're getting tongue-tied
I don't know. Extremely merry state.
Yeah.
And so we thought, right, we'd get a train into London, and because originally there was this like tabletop role play bar. We thought, right, we're going to find it, and it was like a good 45-minute journey.
We did not find the bar.
We managed, so we
went.
we met these
got
lovely
one
girls.
stop up the
These-
road,
and these girls were honestly, we must have seemed to about 95. They were trying to explain to us how to get this train into London.
I think the funniest part was though is like we both wear glasses. And none of us had our glasses, and we had our phones like 4 million feet away from our faces. And this girl was like, "This is where the train is," and Sharlene's saying to me, "Can you see that?" I can't see that, and I'm going, "I can't see that either." This girl goes, "Just come with us to a party." I don't know if they felt sorry for us or genuinely wanted us to go, and we were like, maybe not. And we were like, right, we'll just go back the way that we came from.
We'd got onto the train, we did one stop, and then was like, we don't know where we're going, and maybe we should just go back. So we just turned around and got
We
the
just
stop.
knew that if we could see the XL, we sort of wasn't actually lost.
We actually did one stop there, one stop back, and then anyway. So long story short, we ended up in the hotel where all the cast was staying from Vampire Diaries, and all the stars that were at the convention.
Twilight, there was Teen Wolf, there was quite a few.
All the people.
I think we'd entered the Twilight Zone at that point, to be honest.
Vikki had. I had
definitely
no
did.
idea who everybody was because I don't watch it.
Well, you did. You knew who Teen Wolf was. You knew who like the
That
Twilight
was the next
cast
day.
movers.
That was the Sunday
was the
night.
next
So
day.
Saturday night, I had no idea. And then we got chatting to the people who ran, the owners of Monopoly events and stuff that worked with them. So we were there till 3 o'clock in the morning. Then carried on with the lemonades, and then on the way back to the hotel, there was two guys sat on a grass bank.
About them.
Yeah,
we sat
so
with them as well. Didn't
we went
we
and had a chat with these two random guys who'd had a whole experience with their Airbnb.
Their experience was actually funnier than ours. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know if it was funnier, but it was definitely worse anyway.
So they basically had paid for this Airbnb. There's like these two guys and one of the lads, his mum, and they got to go and stay at the Airbnb, which is even more random. So they went to the Airbnb, and the person who they'd booked it with had sold the house. So they had to go and get a hotel, which is one nearby where we were staying. But the lad who was with his mum had to share a room with his mum.
Yeah, so we had a whole
Mortified.
conversation with them, didn't we? How their night had gone quite wrong, but they'd had a really good night.
Yeah,
and
they'd been to a dance festival.
But they was like, so basically they turned up, someone had sold a house, they didn't have anywhere to stay, had a really good night. We got lost in London, and we ended up meeting the cast of a show that I love. So
Win-win.
it was a win-win night that didn't start with a win, really.
No, so it was the whole point of the story is it was a really, really late night, lots and lots of lemonades, and I was so hungover the next day. I'm not good without sleep. I think we're sort of getting this picture. I'm not good without sleep. I'm also not good with alcohol.
Can I just give a quick shout out to Kira? So
Kira!
Kira's
Our
just
friend.
messaged me, so just to give a bit of context to what Kira's just said, we're currently we're entering some competitions of pitching, and one of the pitches, if we get through to that round, is going to be at the XL in London. And Kira's just messaged me and said, "I'm not coming to the expo if you're actually going to get me lost in London." we promise we won't do that.
No, because we're going to be staying cold sober because we've got to because
we have to be sober.
we don't actually know. So this is the Enactus, which we will talk about nearer the time as well. So the Enactus pitching competition. So the regionals is on the 18th of February in Nottingham, and the nationals is at the XL in London in April. But they don't. So you go to the semi-finals on the whatever day it is, and they don't tell you that if you're in the final till the morning of the next day. So you can't go out and enjoy yourself on the night of the semi-finals.
Well, you can.
you
but
can.
You're taking a risk.
I couldn't because I wouldn't be able to
You definitely
function.
couldn't. I might be able to.
No, I was going to say I couldn't even done it if I was in my sort of teens or 20s. I've always suffered. So yeah, there will be at least one sensible person if everyone else decides to have a few drinks. I won't be.
She might not have a hangover, but she definitely won't be sensible. Because... Anyway, so before we transition into another song, I just want to share one thing which I think I didn't want to put it as a funny one because I actually really love this one, and we're all about inclusion and like treating everybody the same. And I think this is a really nice fact, and it says the sound of laughter is actually the same in every language.
Oh,
and I really like that.
Oh, we're going to leave you that as we go into our next song. But that is really cute. So, yeah. I'll leave you that one. Hello, and first of all, we're going to start with a shout out to a friend of a very, very, very lovely lady who actually Vikki and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet.
In person.
Talk
to her all the time.
all the time. And she is, oh my goodness, what is Leanna's title? I'm going to say like White Witch.
I don't know.
She gives.
What would you like?
I don't know, Leanna. What would you like?
She just has amazing cards, and I love her being in my inbox. I love her energy.
I was about to say her energy is absolutely top tier, and we have consistent tarot readings from her, which are absolutely spot on
every time.
Every time, she's absolutely phenomenal and the most realist person.
Absolutely,
you could ever wish to know.
Yeah, literally. Like, I live for the day that we actually get to meet her in person.
Oh, it's going to be all the chaos, all the fun. It's going to be
great.
Cannot wait. But she's actually shared a joke, which Vikki is going to relay.
So I messaged her and I was like, because bless her heart, she's just done a post on Facebook and like shared the fact that we're online and that she's listening in. And I was like, we're going to do you a shout out, you know, just like, I actually said song and I was like, no, we're not doing that tonight. We're doing like jokes and blah, blah, blah. So it was a whole conversation. And then she messaged me almost like she hadn't responded to what I'd just said. And she was like, oh, hi, I've been meaning to message you all day. Did you hear about the cheese factory? And I was like, oh yeah, this is the joke.
In France.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, it happened last night, the cheese factory in France, it blew up. Debris everywhere. I don't know what to say to that. Then she said that's the only clean joke that she knows off the top of her head right now. I think it's fabulous.
I'm impressed that she knows a joke off the top of her head.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, literally that. And I have got one more joke that's been sent in and I would love to read it out because I was like, you know, we talk about science and I love science. It's I love it. It's part of who I am. I love reading about science, but this one is fantastic. So if you're a scientist, I apologise in advance.
You're building this up.
It says, why do scientists trust atoms?
I don't know.
Because they make things up.
Oh my god.
Like,
that is
so bad, but I don't know why I like it.
I don't know why you like it. It's so bad.
It's so bad, but it's so not bad at the same time.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So.
See, Daniel got it.
Yeah.
Because they make everything up.
Yeah, they do. Of course they do.
Love it. I thought it was fabulous. And just while Daniel's back in the messenger that we have with him, I just want to say we've watched the video. It is fabulous.
Yes,
you don't actually see Daniel fall, just to give people context and who are listening. You hear him fall. You know that he's fell and you feel like you kind of fell with him for a minute and he hits the deck and it's loud.
He laughs and that's what's funny.
Thank you for sharing.
And it's like, is that contagious? You know, contagiousness of laughter.
If anyone's got any other videos of them falling, and it's a safe fall, like no one's actually injured, I'd love to see them.
What for our personal amusement? So we're now actually going to move on to sort of still on laughter, but probably a little bit more serious.
Well,
maybe.
It's what we're for, isn't it? It's like
we're going to talk about sort of laughter and the benefit, like the sort of, because as you know, we're huge advocates working as trainee therapists. Training
so near but so far all
near.
at the same time.
4 months till we qualify, but we're very, very passionate about mental health and everything we're doing with our tabletop role play. So, and this all ties in all together, sort of laughter, mental health.
Well, for us, January's been quite a fun month because the radio show's been new to us, and we've been like, what can we do? January can, for some people, can be quite a dreary month, and we've been quite positive in the shows that we've done so far. You know, we did New Year's resolutions and we did manifesting, and then we thought, whatever, we'll do laughter tonight because we love laughter. We thought we'd share a bit with you guys. Hopefully you've laughed, maybe at us or with us, I don't know, but
we don't
as
know.
long as we made you laugh, it's fine. We're okay with it. But I think the main thing for us moving forward is to bring in elements of mental health anyway into it. So to bring tonight and bring it to mental health and just like have a chat about that. And
so you found something to do with sort of how laughter helps anxiety and depression.
Well, yeah, it reduces the symptoms of anxiety and depression. It actually strengthens social connections and reduces loneliness. And it promotes a positive outlook on life, and it can also reduce blood pressure. So that's a physiological element in there as well. But I think overall on your well-being, it's got a positive impact. And
well, we've seen it. So when we've been running our tabletop roleplay game at the school, and as soon you see this, I mean, there's obviously the tabletop roleplay and the connectedness from that. But when there's a challenge, or I'm just thinking back to last Tuesday, and this Tuesday, not last Tuesday. It's like
I was thinking
it's
that.
like it's literally this week. And you know, when the boys around the table, and there's two of them. I don't think the one actually does laugh, but the two of them, when they were laughing at something, and it's like that bonding, all of them was all laughing together.
I always think like one of my favourite moments with playing tabletop role play, and I mean it was funny, but it wasn't I don't want to say it wasn't the laughing that brought us all together, but it was. And one of them wasn't actually in the best of moods on the day. I'm just not going to go into details, but yeah. However, I'd give them all these. So anyone who's played tabletop roleplay knows how tabletop roleplay is. For anyone that doesn't, it's you're at a table, you've got dice, and you get into a character. We're going to talk more about that next week. So I won't go into too much detail, but however, the kids that were playing, they'd all had a character, and I think I was DMing that day. And I gave them all magic. No, it wasn't really magic, it was just instruments, wasn't it? And one of the
were magic instruments.
Yeah, one of them could, if they came up against like a dinosaur. No, it's not a dinosaur. Dragon.
Dinosaur
dragon.
Water dragon.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the water dragon that they were up against, was it? I think it was the snake.
It was the snake.
Anyway, whatever they were up against, one of them could make it uncontrollably laugh, one could make it uncontrollably dance, one could make it sing, and one of them could actually become invisible for 6 seconds. But whoever decided to activate their magical instrument, if the rest of the team joined in, it highered the hit points and the damage that it caused on the opposition. And we ended up with 4 kids sat around a table, and it was a build up to it, wasn't it? And it was like, what can we do, how can we do this? I was like, oh, don't forget guys, you've got your magic instruments. And they were like, all right, let's go for it. It was like, I'm gonna sing a song. I was like, well, if you're gonna do that, then that doesn't mean that the snake's gonna sing it, that means you guys have to sing it, and then the snake's gonna like respond to that. And just all of a sudden we had like 4 teenagers just sat around the table singing Sweet Caroline. And it was so funny, but such a powerful moment as well. I think
really was.
To see how they bonded in that moment, especially when one of them wasn't in the best place, and it was phenomenal actually to sit and watch. So I think seeing that visually in a mental health like environment, it's really powerful. So that's one of my best moments anyway from what we do.
100%, 100. Absolutely there with you, because you know. It was because they're young boys who have special educational needs as well. So it's sort of it. When we talk about tabletop role play next week, we'll go into it more. But it definitely brought them all together, and that moment, like you said, was I think that pinnacle moment where they all really bonded, and it was so funny. I think the thing is that I think we laughed more with them, not at them, because they were just absolutely embraced it at the time. So I think, you know, when I was saying before about the is it hormones? I don't know if it's hormones that it releases. So sort of laughing reduces cortisol, and it releases dopamine and serotonin.
I'll say it's a hormone, isn't it?
Let's go. Yeah.
Well, it is.
Is it?
I'm sure it is.
I don't know.
You're making me question myself now. If anyone knows if that's a hormone, drop us a message.
Yeah. We're obviously not that knowledgeable. Yeah. But yeah, so it releases, and that whole sort of expression helps to, make people feel good. So if you're struggling, because we're looking at particularly with anxiety, aren't we?
Well, we've researched anxiety, and we've seen what tabletop role play can do for that, and we're still like mid-analysing the transcripts that we got from that, but even the bits that we have read so far have just been quite powerful, to be fair. But
that's not with laughter. We are going to talk about more of this, like Vikki said, next week. So we're going to go into more about what we're doing with Role Resolve, with tabletop role play, and the reasons why we're doing it. So we actually are going to move more into more of a mental health discussion next week, but in context of what we want to do.
So we don't want to give too much away. We just want to say that we've seen the laughter work in a mental health, or it's not always mental health. So
therapeutic.
We have a therapeutic environment, and it's very powerful to see firsthand. I think it's quite motivating as well to continue doing what we're doing. So like when you explain what we're doing, like some people don't get it, and that used to be like something that I'd be like, how do you not get it? Like, or not like how do you not get it, because like we was them people one day as well. But I don't know, it's because we've put so much into it. I think
it's the perception. I think people have a perception of tabletop role play and gaming generally, sort of board games, role play games, as being really nerdy. And it is, but it's a really, really good nerdy. And I'm there for it.
Well, I want to say I'm not nerdy, but I don't know.
We are.
I am.
We are. Let's embrace the nerdiness.
Yeah, I am a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
And I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with being a nerd, right?
Probably not you. We don't present as typical nerds. In fact, we had this whole conversation. God, we are definitely got a side quest now. So when we had our initial conversation with Dave Warhammer, and he was talking about with the fact that we're not the typical nerd, and he said you need to dress more nerd when you come into the school, and I was like, well, what does that look like?
I know, I've still never done it. I still just dress how I dress.
So we don't, to be fair. But anyway, moving swiftly on from that digression, laughter.
I've just been sent a message, so in response to asking for, like, when I said about people sending in photographs and videos. Well, I didn't actually say photographs, I said videos on the back of Daniel's video. And I don't want to say it because I feel like it sounds like we're always out drinking, and we're really not. Right. And like the very few nights that I go out and people want to talk about, I know, but Kira's just said she's got a great picture of Bettina when she fell over on the way home that night. I said, send it.
Definitely. So this is the thing, is that again, Vikki and I were talking earlier about sort of funny stories, and there was like, the problem is that our funny stories either relate to life, because we just laugh our way through life, or relate to sort of like things around drinking.
No, it's not. I don't think it's like it revolves around drinking.
Not revolves,
relates. Because I'm not a big drinker. I'm really not. I mean, I can count on one hand literally how many drinks I've had in the past 4 years, and how many times I've been out and done that, because I've been so busy with uni and setting up businesses and being a mum and all the things. So it's not something that I get to do a lot. But it's like when I do go out, we have fun. we let our hair down, and you don't need to have a drink to do that. But
no, you don't. Absolutely not.
But we do. And it's very, very rare.
It is. And the thing is that we've been friends for 4 years?
Yeah.
And in 4 years we've been out 3 times.
Exactly why I can
4
count.
4 times. And 2 of those were not actually nights out, they were Comic Cons, so they don't count. Because they were actually night outs, they were actually at Comic Cons.
Were we away though for the weekend?
Yeah.
So we did actually go out, didn't we?
Well, we did go out, yeah. So that's like 4 times in 4 years. It's not.
But to be fair though, the first Comic Con that we went to, we didn't actually go out.
No,
We had a drink in the hotel the night before.
Oh,
we
we
didn't
did.
go out.
No, because I was driving.
Yeah, so we didn't. We had one drink and then we came
Yeah.
back. So it wasn't quite as. It was good, but it was amazing actually. The weekend we had such a good time. I could advocate for that all day, but that is a literal digress.
Digressing so much.
Sorry to bring you all into my thoughts then for a moment.
We've done, I think. I know, we're just like, we're on the home stretch now. And we've actually done, I'm just going to go dig a shout out to ourselves because we've like really kept it on track because those who know as well,
We didn't digress till 25 to 7, basically.
Yeah.
And what she's saying is that is an absolute record for
it
us.
is, I would say it's a miracle for us.
Yeah.
We go on all the side quests. And as you know from listening to the first show, we went down all the tangents on that one.
I like a good side quest though. It brings like a bit of an edge to the conversation.
It also gives you an insight to our minds where we'll cover about 20 subjects in 5 minutes sometimes.
It's like an internet browser with 50 tabs open. And whichever one I click in that moment is what I'm going to share.
But it's literally a representation of our internet browsers where we've got 2 browsers with multiple tabs open, especially during assignment times.
Yeah.
It is.
That too.
Well, we've got... right, so... Actually, no, this is like Daniel, who says, can't believe we started a side quest about side quests.
Look, if anyone can pull off a side quest about side quests, it's got to be me and Sharlene. I was going to throw that out there because I like a good side quest. And to be fair, we do that in tabletop roleplay, so we're kind of like immersed in the whole side quest thing now anyway, so that's what I'm going to say for
Part and
that.
parcel. Actually, this is the thing. We keep going. So next week we are going to. This is why we keep sort of going back to tabletop role plays. We are going to talk about it next week. So there is a link.
Yeah,
There
we're
is a
very
link.
excited to share it with everybody.
We are
as well.
so excited, and I warn you now, there will be all the side quests because it's good because it is really. Oh, I want to say, what's the word? Where you can just make it up as you go along, sort of thing.
Well, it's creativity. It's what we do is narrative focus, and it allows. So it might be worth
talking
this,
about it now.
Yeah, it might be worth right now just to add the fact that we've done a study on it. We studied social anxiety. We've seen it got huge benefits for social anxiety, but we wanted to go a little bit further than that. So one of our biggest passions is neurodiversity and how we can support that in education and emotional education, really, isn't it? And how to articulate emotional regulation. I'm going to say emotional permeability, but that basically means the bleed in and bleed out of the game. And there's a few things that we're going to be studying in the future. So I'm not going to give you too much, but basically...
She's giving it you all.
I haven't given it you all at all. If that was all of it, we'd have had a really boring show next week.
That is true. I talk about anything for hours.
But anyway, we've moved from social. We're still going to obviously concentrate on social anxiety, but our main focus right now is neurodiversity. So if you have got neurodiversity or you're supporting someone with that, then it might be a show that is worth watching and tuning in and listening to what we can do to help that and support it. So.
And on that note, this song is one of my favourite throwback songs that we're going to play next, which is by Black Box. And hello, we're back for our final few minutes of the radio show. So to sum up about our topic of the evening, laughter. Laughter, as we've said, is a universal language. And as Vikki said earlier, laughter is understood no matter what the language. And it's not just fun, it's proven to be good for your health. And everyone needs to laugh just a little bit more, a little bit louder.
Yeah, I think that's my take home from tonight, is the fact that no matter what language you are, laughter can be understood, and it's good for your emotion. It's the best thing I've read, like literally. Like all the barriers that we have, social barriers, language barriers, we all understand laughter. Like literally babies don't even know what laughter is and they get it.
Yeah.
So I think if we all did a little bit more of that, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that it's good for physical, emotional and social benefits, then that's...
All the things.
Yeah.
Literally. It's like helps, it's actually for your physical and mental health. Improves everything. Why are people so bloody miserable?
I don't know.
There's no need.
That's a concept there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like...
I think that's a whole different thing. It's like, that's things like, why do people look at the glass half empty instead of half full? That positive negative mindset.
I suppose it's difficult for some people to get there though, isn't it? Which is understanding like where they've come from and who they are, but it'd be really nice to be able to work with them people.
It would. I also think it's a choice. Let's explore that.
Literally. So,
it's also a choice.
Here came the therapist.
Yes. Yeah. I do think you can choose though, because as we know with our personal histories, and we are the most positive, optimistic people that I know.
Without divulging too much into our past.
No, we've had our fair share of traumatic events. Yeah, absolutely. We've had, all the things, but we still laugh about. And I think actually one thing we haven't touched upon, which I'm just going to say quickly, is earlier on when we were talking about, like, we were having a real conversation about this before we even came on air, and it's like Vikki and I, whenever we're together, we always laugh, always, and we can be literally in the worst mood, but we always, we could be stressed, and I mean stressed, and we will find something to laugh at, but it's not the same with everybody that you're with, and although we're positive people, I don't think...
It goes back to energy vampires, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like literally sucking that joy.
Liana.
Yeah. So... you gotta love a bit of joy.
No, it's like I say, you're not an energy vampire. It's just the word joy.
She's not an energy vampire. She's actually got really good energy, but...
Radiates all the energy.
Yeah. Just doesn't like the word joy. But I think we've literally established tonight that laughter is not just fun. It's actually good for your health.
I just said that.
So do it more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So do it more. Have fun.
Yeah.
Laugh. Choose laughter.
Be merry.
Yeah. Literally do that. Like, challenge yourself to just laugh. Look in the mirror and just laugh. Like, why the hell not? I'm going to do that every day. Like, why not? No, I'm not really going to do that. I don't need to. I laugh enough.
Why would you look in the mirror and laugh? I
don't know. Maybe you want to. I don't know.
I would have gone with watch a comedian or
yeah,
a comedy film. Just look in the mirror and laugh at yourself.
There's going to be a whole snort process that comes on here because you're activating that side of me. I'm not going to do that live on air, guys. I'm just not going to do it. But
that's really good.
Anyway, before we do go, we just want to... It is kind of like a group challenge. So for everybody that's listening, like... You do it, tell your friends to do it, tell your friends' friends to do it, tell them to pass the message on.
Yeah.
Put a Facebook post on, put an Instagram post on, put it all over, everywhere. And just challenge yourself and others. Like, just one person every single day should make them laugh. Because imagine, as an accumulation of people, if we can do that and just like keep passing the message on to just keep making one person laugh.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's And this is the thing, isn't it? It's these teeny tiny, teeny tiny,
Teeny tiny.
but like
Spend
tiny
the day with
temper.
Charlie and that'll make you laugh. I don't know what that laugh was. That was a discussion that I wanted to have tonight. Like, types of laugh. Like,
Oh my goodness.
so like, what? I need to share this. So Sharlene sent
Okay.
me a reel once. Oh God, I always say Sharlene sent me a reel once. So Sharlene sent me a lot of reels. And it was a video about friendship and two people laughing. And it was like, this is how like women should laugh. And it was two women that going, ho, ho, ho. And then, do you remember which one it was? And then it was like, but this is how me and my friend laugh. And it was these people that laugh like us. And it's like, we have got no, I don't know what the word is.
Containment.
Yeah, but it's like, what's the word like? When people are posh, no, I can't think of
We're
the
not
word.
demure.
It's definitely not demure. And it's definitely not cutesy.
But it is mindful.
It's not yeah. We're not demure, we're not cutesy, but we are mindful. That's going to be our new tagline, guys. Yeah. And then for my kids, if you're listening, it's kind of Riz that sentence, isn't it?
Oh, I love that.
They're not going to love that. I just said that out loud on
No,
air.
they're not at all. But I'm here for it. Oh, dear me, that is so funny.
But yeah, we just want to thank everyone for listening.
Thank you very much.
We've
And
enjoyed you being here.
yes,
Thanks to Kira, Leanna and Daniel, who have been amazing messaging in tonight. And it'd be great to hear off some more reviews because we've had way more listeners than that. So it'd be great to hear who's listening, who's joining us, and
tune in next week
yeah.
and we'll talk all
And
about.
if you love tabletop roleplay, or if you know somebody who loves tabletop roleplay, then tell them, send the link. And right now we're going to move into Wigfield Saturday night.
Have a great week.